Welcome to Kat's Candid Conversations. Kat McKeno is an award-winning journalist who has interviewed compelling people and organizations from around the world who make a difference.
Democratic Janet Diaz was the first Latino councilwoman to be elected twice in Lancaster. She also ran for state senator. Then in 2025, she lost her bid to be mayor. She accused the Democratic leaders of turning against her and not supporting her in the elections because she refused to rubber stamp all of their policies. The former medical analyst and YMCA sexual assault counselor is now writing a tell-all book about what she went through. So Janet, you've been councilwoman of Lancaster City twice. The first time was in 2018. Mm-hmm. And you won, although you didn't have the backing of the Democratic Party.
That is correct.
But yet you ran as a Democrat.
That is correct.
How does that happen?
Grassroots, knocking doors, talking to constituents, listening to constituents is like number one. I'm a person that I do as I say. I am not a person that is going to run and say that I am going to support getting rid of, let's say, plastic, which is something that I fought for years, and it's still, plastic bags are still there, and nothing has been resolved. So when I say I'm going to do something, I mean I'm going to do something.
What did you run on? What were you saying that you wanted to change or you were for in 2008?
As someone that experienced homelessness when I moved to Lancaster, that was the number one issue. Being as a person that's compassionate and understanding that we don't have affordable housing. So those are the two main things. I also don't believe that we should constantly increase taxes on our constituents, especially those that are hurting because they're working 2 or 3 jobs and they're not able to support themselves, let alone pay for childcare. And there's a lot of parents that are single parents, just like my mother. So those are the things that not only I ran for, but I believed in.
Since you experienced it yourself.
That is correct.
So you came to the city when you were 3 years old with your mother, and you didn't have a home? You were homeless?
Let me explain. I was actually like nine years old. My mother ran from a situation which was a life and death situation. And when we moved here, my mom thought that she could just rent something with cash, and that she didn't understand that you needed a background check. New York is different. It's totally a different breed, you know. So at that time, we had to live in a U-Haul truck for 3 months. We had an aunt that was called La Pachanga, a very well-known Latina woman that owned a business and was very well known in the Catholic church, which is San Juan Bautista, La Pachanga. And at that time, she just didn't have enough room because she was helping men and women that were coming out of jail, and there was a halfway house was basically what it was. So we lived in the U-Haul truck until there was a room available for us to stay. So she let us stay. So that's when my life kind of started a little bit more comfortable, even though it wasn't.
Was she running away from a domestic situation in New York?
It was. Something that she doesn't like to talk about, and it's her story. But the only thing that the glimpse that I can give you is that I got hit with a rocking chair trying to protect her. And there was enough violence that I saw people getting stabbed. I mean, my life story is something that nobody knows, that I really didn't hone into. But the trauma as a child was surprising for me to even get out of my introvert personality to run for office.
Well, that's interesting. It kind of makes sense now because you went into the medical profession, helping women and sexual assault and counseling.
That's correct.
Is that what you feel why you went into it? Because you experienced it and you knew what it was like?
I would say yes, because I can connect those that are moving into the city or those that live in the city that are dealing with domestic violence, that they can go comfortably to speak to an officer or direct them to the Y, which is as a sexual counselor. I was there for 6 years, which was an opportunity to help those that are in need. I'm very compassionate about what I say and what I do. It's from my heart and my spirit. I look at it as a spiritual thing to help women and even men. I know of men that have been molested as childs or raped. So yeah, people, even today, not being a city council person, someone said, look, I have a 19-year-old with a child. She's in Jersey. She needs a place to stay. She's running away. And even though I'm no longer a councilwoman, I still gave her 3 organizations. And I'm like, here's the numbers and the address. Those are who you need to contact.
And you just completed your second term
I did.
as councilwoman. Your first term was in 2018. What have you accomplished as councilwoman to help these people or to work on issues that you believe in?
Well, I would say that supporting and voting for grants for some of these organizations like the Y, and some other organizations, even for World Church Service, they got grants for those that are immigrants, since Lancaster is very high in immigration, and it's kind of like a sanctuary city, you know.
Is it still high in immigration?
It's one of the highest immigrants in the state because they're
In Pennsylvania.
in Pennsylvania.
I know 40% of Lancaster City is Latino, correct?
That is correct.
And you were the first Latino councilwoman
That's correct.
to be voted, even though you said that the Democratic Party didn't support you.
They didn't.
How did you get elected without the backup of the Democratic Party when you're running as a Democrat?
Just talking to the people, listening, very honest. They said that they're tired of people being rubber stampers, and I said that I would not, which I was not. And to be vocal when things were came into a heated discussion, whether it was about tax increases or one thing was shutting off water. We had over 3,000 people that they got their water shut off because a lot of them receive either the actual person that owned the property, which was the owner, and they were renting, didn't receive a response from them, and they were shutting them off to put new meters in. Well, I was very, very highly upset because I'm like, no, you can't do this. And many constituents, especially Latinos that rent a lot, that didn't understand what was going on because the notices, they weren't in Spanish. So that's one thing that I can say that I stopped. I stopped them from shutting the water off and giving them some time to speak with their landlords and also understanding what they were planning to do.
How long was the water shut off for?
They wanted to shut the water off probably like, I would say 3 months until they got the meters put in. And
3 months living without water?
Yeah.
No showers, no water for cooking?
It was very interesting the way that they tell you they're going to shut the water off. And that's also another way of getting people out of rental properties. If they shut your water off, you basically have to move out. That is,
wow.
Yeah.
And you were able to stop that?
I was loud enough to say no.
There were actually people on the council who would vote for shutting the water off for 3 months of some of the citizens and residents that live in the city?
All I can say is, as President Reckenbach at that time, you vote for what the mayor wants. I'm not voting for the mayor wants. I vote for what the constituents need.
How did you cope with the Democratic Party, as you say, not supporting you and actually working against you?
I guess it's the New York City, Bronx thick skin that I have, being Puerto Rican, that has a father that's in the military, and along with a brother that was a police officer, retiree now, and members of the military that were uncles and cousins, and I can go on. I have five generations of police officers in my family.
Why would the Democratic Party go against you? Did you not agree with their platform? Didn't go with them? Why would they go against you?
They expected that whatever the mayor wanted is what I would vote for. And that's not what my oath was. My oath is to support the community, and that's what I did.
What other issues came up as a councilwoman that you went against what the party wanted to do?
Well, there was one of the things that I noticed was the taxes were just way too high. It was like I think it was 1.1 mil the first time. And we had constituents come in that were retirees, that were single, elderly, and I voted against it. I could see that the mayor was like...
You voted against
baffled.
increasing the taxes.
Yes. It wasn't the first time. I voted a few times not to increase it. I asked if there was a possibility to do it in increments, because you're going to increase it anyway, but can we do it at least in small increments to help, whether it's increasing it like every other, or every year, a certain percentage. But they didn't want that either. They didn't want to listen to me at anything that I might have offered as an idea or a solution.
I see. And what was the outcome of it? Did they raise the taxes?
They still raise the taxes, yep.
I see. Are there other incidents that you recall that you went against them? And did they put pressure on you as well? Did they put pressure on you to change your voting or not being so vocal?
Well...
And what did they do? Did they come and tell you directly, or how did that...
I just noticed that they slowly stopped me from going to events by sending emails that were late, which was very interesting.
Did they send the emails to the other council people late?
Absolutely, because I saw the event and the locations and the time and pictures. And
so you mean they sent it to the other council members on time, and you saw that, but they didn't send it to you on time. You were the one that did not get it.
That's correct.
You actually have proof of that?
Yes, I do.
What's the proof?
I have my emails that prove it. You have to match up the times and the dates. Well, and at times I noticed that they would switch events. For example, being a committee person, the chair of safety, I went to the awards for the police officers and fire department. And then they would switch the time so I wouldn't be able to attend because I have to ask time off from work, they allowed me, they always allotted me time. But if you get this email a day before, it's not feasible for me working at the hospital. That's, 24/7. So sometimes I just wasn't able to attend.
But they had the votes. So you were just one vote that they didn't have, right?
Yeah, that's
and they would go to this extent to why do you think that is?
Because it made them look bad. It's all emotions and psychologically damaging to them just because I would vote no, which is very bizarre because it would still go through.
For example, nobody wants to be taxed higher. So the fact that you said, no, we're not going to tax them, you voted no for an increase in taxes. It doesn't make them look good because they voted for it.
Exactly.
I see. What did you do about that? How did you feel when you were being excluded and other measures were taken against you?
Oh, there were many things that that I saw that was very, to me, it was almost childish. I took it as, you're a child, you have a tantrum, and you think that bothers me? Never.
It didn't really bother you?
I lived in the streets. I know how to survive. Do you think that a vote and their childish behavior by excluding me for certain things is going to bother me? I have more important things in life to be concerned about.
Did you have a support system?
I had my mother, my husband, and the constituents that voted for me that said, Janet, we're here for you.
So you had the strength to continue to go against the majority?
Oh, hell yeah.
How come the second time then you didn't run as a Republican or an independent since you didn't have the support of the party?
Well, the city is predominantly Democrat. That's number one. Number two, I already had ran for state committee and won number one. So I was already entrenched. And I was part of the Latino caucus in the state as well. And then there was 2020 when I ran for Senate, which was really record-breaking in the primary.
In what sense?
Well, I was the first Latina in the state to ever run for a Senate position, a state Senate position. I was asked by Senator Street, who was chair of the Democratic Party. So I said, yes, I would run. Was I going to win? I don't know, because it's pretty predominantly red in the county. But the fact that I was the first one to do it, without their endorsement, I won by 2,000 votes against Craig Lehman, who was a commissioner.
In the primaries, in the Democratic Party.
In the primary, which I did not believe that I would win because of not having an endorsement, everybody supporting Craig, Lehman, Commissioner Craig Lehman at that time. And when I saw it, and the funny part is, every time I win, I usually just go home and go to bed, like if it's an election. And I've done that with all of them. Everybody was completely shocked, calling me on the phone. And they go, Janet, you won the primary. And I'm like, I did? He goes, yeah. I thought, well, maybe 100 points. I don't even look at the scores. I just win or not. They were in shock. They were completely shocked. And it was with only $7,000 that I can raise. I raised it just to bring about how that happened.
How about your opponent? How much did your opponent raise?
Thousands of dollars.
How did you do it? How did you
Emerge,
manage to win?
If you're not familiar with Emerge, which is a national, but also Emerge Pennsylvania, and I took the class during my city council race at 2017 and 2018. So with their assistance and the alumnus, which was a class, I think, of 30 or 40 girls, they helped me. They gave me donations along with Represent PA. And when I met Christine, she was the one that met me at one of the organizations or one of the events.
Who's Christine?
Christine, she's a director of Represent Pennsylvania. But with her assistant, she also donated. She donated like $3,000. I was shocked. So with $7,000 with the girls and some other friends, obviously friends and family that I contacted, with the help also with Cornell Wilson and my husband, we pulled it. We did another grassroots, which was shocking. I mean, it was crazy. I was completely shocked. And then, of course, I think at that time, Biden was running with Kamala Harris. So I got to sit. I actually got in the stage with her husband. Opened up for them, and also for my. I spoke regarding my campaign at that time after I ran and won. But yeah, I was.
What was your message? Why do you think you won? There must have been a message there that resonated with the voters.
Well, one of the things my platform was healthcare. One of the things that community was concerned about, which I took like 3 months prior running and making that decision, I went out and did a survey on my own and spoke to people and I asked them, what is your major concern? And it was healthcare, wages, the environment, obviously. So my knowledge is what I brought. I always bring my knowledge. What do I know about healthcare? Well, I worked in health insurance. I worked as a billing manager at a practice of 5 physicians, and I've been, LGH as an abstractor, which is a medical analyst in cardiac, and I knew the system I knew healthcare system. I worked 3 years in what they used to call Health Guard, and I knew ways that, especially small businesses that don't have to provide their employees healthcare, if we push an agenda where and a policy where all the small businesses can come under one umbrella, then they would have a contractual negotiations with the healthcare insurance.
So that resonated with the people who were voting.
Yeah, because I believed in it, because I knew it could happen.
It seems like it's still major issues today.
Oh my God, yes. It's just unbelievable. And it can be done.
So what happened when you ran against the mayor, Arroyo?
Well,
in the primaries? Because you were running for primary for Democrat for the mayor of Lancaster just recently, right?
Well, this was planned like 2 years before for Mayor Sriracha to bring him forward. I knew it because they were doing everything humanly possible.
That was a previous mayor.
Oh my God, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, during Sriracha.
Okay.
Yeah. So they had already started attacking me on city council. They were belittling me. They had a felon come in and attack me with their socialist groups.
Can you prove that they did that?
Of course. Somebody that was friends of the girl that would come in, to attack me on city council. And you can see all the city council for 2 months.
So she was actually attacking you?
Oh, yeah.
What was she saying about you?
She brought a group and she says that I'm no good, that she doesn't want me as a mayor. Why
are you no good? Why did she say you're no good?
Like I said, they had this already scheduled to occur as I call it road playing. They just had this acting. And I could see right through it. I could see that
they actually accused you in public.
Oh, they accused me about a lot of things.
I read that you were accused of being a racist.
Yeah, I was.
Because of something with Ahmed, Ahmed, and also that you were homophobic.
Oh yeah. You know what's so funny? My 2020 race, my campaign manager, gay. The assistant was gay. The field director was gay. And then I finally told my board from the campaign, which was a general, I said, we got to do something or they're going to say that I'm a racist because everybody else I have are gay.
Well, what I read is that, Ahmed, you said that he wasn't born in Lancaster.
No, let me just so.
That's what I read.
They took a post, which unfortunately
I read it. I read the post.
The post is not racist. It's basically saying, myself, it looks like it's me, saying that you need to be born and raised in the United States to run.
Right. And you said he wasn't.
Well, I said, no, I didn't say anything. I just said, it just basically said that you should be, that there are other candidates. And that's what they twisted. Where does it say that that's racist? It's not racist at all. Is it? Did I say?
Well, what I read, and this is just what I read, is that you had said in the email that we should go with someone who's born in Lancaster and raised in the city. But then you weren't, because you lived in the Bronx.
Nope.
So you weren't born here. Nope. So where did they get that from then?
That's how they twisted what was said, what was posted at that point.
So you don't believe in order to run that you have to be born and raised in Lancaster?
No.
And how about the homophobic? What would you say
that
you were homophobic?
If I was homophobic, then I must hate my uncle, because my uncle that shared a crib with me when he was little, and he is so flamboyant that I call him Tío Tía, which means uncle and Tío Tía. He was a hair designer in New York. He did a lot of artists and actors and just a lot of very famous people. You had
said that they were harassing you.
Oh my God! I even had people following me.
What do you mean you had people following you?
I had people following me. They were using every scare tactic for me to get out of my race. I'm like,
to get out of the mayor race.
To get out of all the races I ran.
They would actually follow you? Who would follow you?
They park in front of my house. This is let me go to this one. This one's really interesting. So I get up in the morning. It's 5:00 in the morning, and I know all the cars. It's a cul-de-sac. It's only a block long. So when I go out, there's this person there, and I'm like, what the heck is that person there? And so I kind of backed up. I took a picture of the license plate. I saw the person who it is, and I knew the person, and they don't live in that block. So I contacted Chief Bay, who, by the way, left 2 days after, retired, left. He said, I'm done. And I said, if this person has anything to do with Izzy Weigdell's campaign, I'm going to file a lawsuit for harassment. 2 days later, Chief Bay's gone. So it makes you think.
Are you saying he's gone because?
I'm saying he probably left because that was the last straw that broke his back, because he had also mentioned to Darlene Bird when she went, after he left, he had came for an event. And that was the police chief, by the way. So the police chief told Darlene that the mayor wouldn't let him do his job. And I said, well, it was a coincidence that after I called him and left a message that I was coming to file a complaint because I had the license plate and the car and the person. And then he left 2 days later.
This is when you're running for mayor.
That was
kind of recently.
No, that was when I ran for House. I ran for 5 different positions.
That's a lot.
Well, I look at it this way. People kept asking me to run. Community people, the people in Lancaster City, the constituents asked me to run for these positions. So I still had money. I was like, all right, I'll run. Did I know I was going to win? Not with the party, not with the people on city council, not with that mayor that she would do anything humanly possible to make sure that I didn't win. And I could prove that.
Why did they dislike you so much?
Because I would not conform. I am not going to put shackles and be told to vote for something just so you can make you feel good. Oh, hell no.
But didn't they feel as a Democrat that you had to go along with their platform, that you needed to compromise?
No, they don't believe in compromise. It's not, and it wasn't only me. There was 2 other council people. One that left after a year or 2, and then the other person was going to run again, and they didn't even want her to. They didn't even notify her that for her to apply for an endorsement, and she also was shunned because she had disagreed on something that the mayor was like trying to push forward. Anything you did, Mayor Sirachi, you would go against her. She'd do anything to make you look bad or anything to get you out of the way, which I like again.
What did she specifically do to make you look bad besides?
Okay, so
we have the racism, we have the homophobic, they're following you to your house, they're parking outside your house. So they were harassing you.
They were harassing
and
me.
you had proof
Mm-hmm.
that all these things were happening.
Mm-hmm.
But it didn't get you down. You kept running.
No, if anything, it made me more stronger. It made me feel like I'm all right. I'm David. Keep messing with me because I'm going to hit you with that rock.
You know, I can kind of relate to that because I did a story and the person I was writing about did not want me to write it. So he started threatening me. But my attitude was, I'm going to write this story for sure now.
Well, I'm writing a book, and trust me, every meeting that I went against something happened, and I'm bringing it forward.
Are you worried about libel or lawsuits?
Nope, not at all.
You have proof that you were being harassed?
I have proof.
I think you mentioned that the mayor who just won, Arroyo, harassed you as well.
Oh, there was a time where they tried to block me on what I wanted to do on city council regarding a policy.
What was the policy?
I can't recall. I'm going through all the policies as I'm writing my book, so you'll get more information on that. But yeah, and you can see it, and you can watch some of the city council meetings and see how they react. One that was interesting. This is with Mayor Sirachi and also Arroyo, which was it was the most.
He was on the council before.
Yeah. So the mayor, I asked the question regarding ARPA. Why do I ask the question about ARPA? Because he was the.
What's ARPA?
ARPA was the money that was the stimulus money that was given to Lancaster was $38 million regarding COVID. So my question, because of constituents, there were 2 older, mature ladies discussing it, and they kept ignoring the questions that she was asking.
And she was asking in a public council meeting.
Public council meeting. So since Arroyo said that he provided the ARPA money to everybody, what
do you mean he provided it?
That's exactly what he said at the meeting, even though it wasn't his money. It was money that taxpayer for people to receive grants.
During COVID. So the question was risen in regards to applying for it. They weren't very savvy with the computer. They obviously didn't understand how to go through the process of application for grants. So there was a question that came up. So I asked the question because I'm pretty smart, even though they think that I'm not smart enough. So I said, can someone please explain in a short sentence how this can transpire to answer the question for Darlene Bird and Dana London? I mean, where the money went?
No, for the application to receive money.
The grant, to get the grant. Okay.
So Mayor Sirachi chimes in and says, well, to me, in front of everyone in city council, didn't I get the memo? Didn't I get the email? Didn't I read my email?
About the applications.
Right. because she wanted me to answer it. But the strategy was not for me to answer, but to see if they will answer and know it, and also if it was incorrect, so I can correct them. See, I was always strategizing. The funny part was Denise Sirachi couldn't answer that question. So she gives it to Arroyo to answer the question. And I'm saying to myself, if she intervened, didn't she know the question? To make a long story short, the question was answered by Arroyo, technically. And after the meeting, I was heading out. So the mayor, Sirachi, she stops me and she goes, "Why are you trying to make me look bad?" I was completely just perplexed, because I'm like saying to myself, how can I make you look bad when you were trying to make me look bad? This was all the time. But when the comebacks is what they don't expect, because I always have a strong comeback and proof. And I'd said to her, I'm not trying to make you look bad whatsoever. And the more I thought about it, I'm like, you know what? Never mind. And I walked out because I couldn't figure out, why should I explain myself when she was trying to belittle me in front of the public?
I'm a little confused. So two women, two constituents,
Mm-hmm.
ask about, how do I apply for a grant?
Correct.
Because there's $38 million that was given to the city,
Correct.
Lancaster City. And they asked you? You were supposed to, I don't understand what happened.
I asked the questions for them because no one was responding to them.
What do you mean? But they stand up and there's a microphone and they said, this is my question. And nobody answered. Everybody was just quiet.
Yeah, nobody answered the question. They sat down.
So why did you answer it? Or why did you participate in that?
Because it's not fair to the constituents that they come to city council to ask a question and nobody's responding to them.
So you said, let the mayor answer it?
No.
What did you say?
I asked the question so somebody, especially Arroyo, that was part of giving out these grants or part
Right.
of the group to have the grants out there for those people to apply for, and
Right.
also to see who would actually receive them, because he would vote also, him, Amanda, and which I found it's ridiculous that they had employees and city council people instead of people from the public to be part of those decision making. But nevertheless, when I asked the question, I wanted somebody to answer the question.
So you repeated the question to the board.
So I asked the question on city council, and
You said, does anybody know the answer to this? Because I don't.
Exactly.
And then Arroyo said, I know the answer.
No, it was Deneen that chimed in when I asked the question. She came forward and she couldn't even answer the question.
Mayor.
All she did was try to belittle me and tell me if I read the email. In other words, she wanted me to answer the question.
Oh, I get it. So she said to you, you should have known this answer. Didn't you read what I sent you? But you never got it.
No, I did receive that because it was ARPA and it was sent
Then
to
you
everyone.
could have answered it.
I didn't want to answer. I wanted Arroyo to answer the question
Why?
because I wanted to see if he knew exactly.
Why, though?
He never answers a question. He goes around and around. In fact, you should look at some of his videos. He never answers a question. He goes in circles. He never. It's like me. If you ask me a question, I'm gonna say yes or no.
So you were kind of belittling him then, in
No.
a sense. You wanted to belittle him because
I did
you
not.
knew. Did he have the answer?
He did answer.
Oh, he did answer. So
I
he had
wanted
it.
to make sure that, number one, that I didn't answer incorrectly.
It sounds a little petty, though, because
No, that's the
you
games
were,
they
you
were
were kind
playing.
of playing. You were playing a game with them instead of just having him answer.
He was the one that was part of the group.
So how did you belittle the mayor at that time? Why would she say that to you? You didn't belittle her.
I did not. She belittled me. That's the thing. They were trying to attack me by making me look bad because I didn't answer the question. I didn't want to answer the question because I was not part of the decision making of who was getting the ARPA money.
I understand that. But I think it would have been okay for you to answer it instead of playing the same games that you're saying that they play.
Well, sometimes you have to play the game too. And I got to the point where it's like, all right, you think I'm dumb? All right, let's play this game. I don't like playing political games.
Did it get to the point where the harassment got too much, where it just, that was it? That was...
Nah. They harassed me. In fact, they told me to step down as city council. They really wanted...
Who's they? Who exactly is they?
The community, city council, the mayor, the Democratic Party. They told me to step down from my mayor race. They wanted me to step down from city hall, from city council.
Why did they say you should step down?
Oh, because I'm a
mayor?
Racist. Because I'm,
And we already talked about that.
Oh, my goodness. I was everything under the sun, but none of all.
But you're Latino and you're a racist?
I know. Isn't that funny?
What are you a racist against? Against who?
I don't know. Maybe rice and beans.
Rice and beans.
Well, it was funny because when they were attacking me at City Hall because of being a racist, I would say a total of 50 people came to stand up. 11 or 15 of them spoke on my behalf, and they were surprised. They were playing this game continually and attacking me. And bringing all these people.
They really wanted you out, didn't they?
They did. But guess what? I did not step down.
You had said to me before this interview that the current mayor now, Arroyo, actually paid a woman to harass you.
Yeah, there was a young...
Do you stand by that? I mean, that could be very libelous.
I believe 100% the person that told me that the person that was attacking me, she got an apartment and she was getting paid for his campaign.
But is there any proof of that?
I can't personally prove it, but I believe the person that told me because she says, I'm a friend for both of yous.
So this harassment, according to you, the harassment has been going on for how many years?
Oh, my God. I would say total of 4 years more.
But you still won when you ran for councilwoman the second time.
Yeah,
what year was that?
That was, I think it's 2021.
That's about 4 years ago, 4 years ago.
Yeah, because I ran 2021 and then I started my second term in 2022.
So how did you win that when you had so many people who, in the Democratic Party, the leaders of the Democratic Party here, against you? How did you manage to win that?
Well, I believe that being part of the state committee, I was known nationally after my Senate race, and constituents saw that I was supporting them and I stood up for them, and I knocked doors again. I did my grassroots, and I had money. I still have money. In fact, it was fun running for all these positions because I was like, you know what? I'm just going to run for the hell of it, win or lose. At least I can get rid of all this money that I have.
I remember you had said to me that you actually went around to 10,000 homes.
I did.
And knocked on doors.
Yep, 10,000.
So why do you think you didn't win for mayor when you win?
How can you win for mayor when you have people attacking you? How can you win for mayor when they wanted to bring forward someone else and they had them so highlighted in every meeting, every event that I did not participate because I didn't even know about it?
Yeah, I read in one, you were a no-show. There was going to be a debate between you and Arroyo, but you didn't show up.
No, I didn't, because I requested for Arroyo to apologize for me to step down, but he didn't have the guts to do that either.
You asked him to, because they were asking you to...
Yeah, to step down. You want me to debate you, but you can't apologize for...
They actually came to you, the Democratic leaders came to you and said, step down, we don't want you.
They had it all in the newspaper. They made it this big...
that you should resign. That you should resign. I think I read that you should resign, yes.
They were also afraid that I was winning, too. That's why they kept pushing. That's why they kept taking the narrative and switching it and making it look like I was a racist, which was,
You couldn't sue. Did you ever think about suing them for
I thought
libel?
about it. I did think about defamation of character, but I always believe that the truth comes out to the light. And with my book, it will come out to the light.
Are people coming up to you now and saying anything about the race, or?
Well, you also have to look at another thing for the primary. People didn't come out to vote. They did not come. The numbers.
What was the percentage of people that came out to vote?
I would say
Do you know?
35%.
Is that unusual for this area, 35%?
For any election other than the presidents and the governors, they don't come out. For city council, they don't come out. For school board, they just don't come out.
And for mayor as well, it was a low turnout.
For primary, and then people would call me and say, Janet, I'm going to go out and vote for you in November. I kind of chuckle and just let them go because, some of them are not very, they just don't have enough knowledge that there's a primary, that in Lancaster, if you're a Democrat, you have to vote in the primary, because 9 out of 10, there's not going to be a Republican running because it's predominantly Democrat.
In the city.
So when it comes to running, this is I don't say feelings, but I would say that losing is nothing for me to cry about. I always look at it as, when I was in school, I was in track. And sometimes you win some, and sometimes you lose some. So
you don't seem crushed to me at all. You seem, because you lost by, Aurora lost by 85%. He got the votes, and you got 15%.
Yep.
That doesn't discourage you?
Never.
Because you're a city girl from the Bronx.
Yeah, I'm a city girl
from
the Bronx.
You've been homeless. You've lived in...
He's just born with a silver spoon in his mouth. He was pushed by the mayor. She did everything humanly possible to get people. She gave people ARPA money to make sure they supported him. It wasn't something that I said to myself, I'm going to win this. And I never thought of that with any of my races. In fact, when I ran for city council, one of the endorsees got kicked out by me. Like, in other words, three of them won of their endorsees, and I won as an unendorsed. And guess what?
You didn't have their support at all.
No, and 9 people ran for that race at that time. Mm-hmm. So the fact that I won, and then when the general came, won number 1, it went nationally. I got Huffington Post and all these people, the first Latina. I was inundated with all, and I'm not crazy about being in the media or in the news or anything, but I talked to them and I'm like, yeah, I won.
And you think you won because you knocked on doors, exactly. You listened to people, and saying things about healthcare and helping people in need resonated with the voters. And that's why you won, do you think?
Definitely. Because I was genuine, I was honest, I was respectful, and listening to what the community wanted. And I did everything humanly possible to help. One person, let me look, this one really kind of put a thorn on Mayor Sirachi. There was an organization that basically flips homes and sells them at a reasonable rate. Well, this young lady was being pushed around because nobody would respond to the organization that had...
The woman that was part of the organization.
No, she was just... she was a Latina woman with kids that wanted to buy this property.
Okay.
The organization, the mission, had an agreement with the city. So the city provides them a small loan so they can fix the homes so they can sell them.
Make it affordable.
Exactly.
Affordability. Okay.
So when that happened, when COVID happened, they had stopped. So they had to go back and ask if they can please process that after they sell the property because of the fact that they had stopped, so they didn't have enough revenue. Well, the mayor and the person that took over for the contracts was a solicitor, were ignoring and were not going to fall through with the contract of loaning the money to the mission in order for Ruby to get her house. Well, the realtor sent me an email. So I sent a message to the mayor, and then I still didn't get anything. So the second time around, I put an email together. This is why they didn't like me, but I had to ruffle the feathers. And I said, it's very interesting that this woman, this young woman that's a single mother, a Latina with 2 kids, have been pushed aside. But if it would have been a white, wealthy woman, you would have went ahead and made sure that wealthy woman would have gotten that property and settled with this organization. I said, and to me, you're just, basically I was calling her a racist, but I didn't call her directly.
Reverse.
I said, this is racism. I said it. I said, this is right down racism. 20 minutes later, I get an email with the mission and the realtor. And she says, please have the organization, the mission, to come in and fill out a new form and get so they can settle with the loan and go through the whole process so the woman can settle. Because she had already given up her apartment. So she was basically homeless at that time. And that's what angered me the most. And that's where I said, you know what? I'm going to call her a racist. So every time they do something like this, and that's just one story.
Do you think they were really racist, though?
No, I just think that it was because they were selling a home, not at the price that they wanted.
It was about money.
It was all about the money. The house went for $150,000. The organization, that's what they sell it. But I'm sure if it would have been $300,000, you have to think about this too. $300,000 home is going to give $3,000 in taxes to the city versus $150,000.
So it's about the money.
It's all about the money. I learned this. I think I learned this the second year I was in city council. I knew it was all about the money, and I'm like, that's why I'm not anti paying taxes. I'm anti the amount of taxes that you're pushing through so many of our community members. There are so many women and men that are single parents. There are so many retirees, and you're going to raise trash, sewer, water. Oh, but wait, we're going to put another 1.2 mil.
Do they need to raise the taxes in order to provide public services?
If it was just the public services, but you should see all the consultants and the amounts that they pay them. We're talking,
you mean they're overpaying the consultants?
Consultants and also the people that work there. If you're a mayor and you're making less than $100,000, or roughly 89, and somebody is the director Delph that's making $200,000.
Who?
Director Delph. He's the economic development director. And I'm saying to myself, why is he making more than the mayor? And that's just one person. If I were to go through the whole list, it would make you wonder why. She gave tons of raises. She gave the director of neighborhood engagement, who only had 6 people, versus a chief, the fire chief that had like 60 people. She gave her 85% raise. She went from 60,000.
Who's this?
Her name is Melzi Carrasco.
What is she in charge?
Neighborhood engagement.
Okay.
And people keep asking me what she does. To be honest with you, I have no idea.
What is neighborhood
today.
Engagement?
Somebody that goes out there and campaigns for the mayor. That's the way I look at it, because
it's an organization, though.
It's part of the city. It's part of the city.
And that's where our taxes are going to.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like all the waste is what you're talking about. The increase is for other people rather than
for the
working citizens.
And even the union employees, now get this, they all campaign for union workers, okay? But when you go back, you can see how many times they even took the city to arbitration and to basically lawsuits, because they won't increase the workers. But the administration, oh yeah.
What do you mean the workers what? The workers' wages?
Well, wages, yeah.
They won't do it.
Well, they fight for it. They fight in order to get a raise. In fact, there was...
The unions are fighting to... What kind of unions? Which unions?
Well, the city unions. They take care of like public works. Anybody that, patches the city's streets.
So they don't have an increase
water.
in wages, but yet our increase in taxes aren't paying for that. Or helping with that, because they're public services.
Because they're increasing the administrations, I consider the white collars, and the blue collars are set aside and say, you'll just have to wait. When we have money, we'll raise your
But
income.
Yet they're raising their wages
exactly
for themselves. And that's what you were fighting against.
Oh yeah, I
did
publicized.
you vocal that?
Oh yeah, I publicized everybody that got raises and how much they made. That made her even more angry.
They were harassing her.
I said, "That's why they harassed me." Well, think about it. The employees that are digging the trenches to put the water main and the infrastructure, they're not getting a raise. But hey, let's give the secretary $60,000 a year versus I think she was making like $40,000.
Isn't the minimum wage in Pennsylvania $6.20?
$7.24.
Yeah, that's the minimum wage.
That's the minimum.
How long has it been that wage for?
1989 or something. I don't know. It's been years. That's another reason why I ran also for House Representative and also for Senator to raise wages. I think $7.24 is not enough, and it's pitiful, especially if you're a single parent, like my mom was, making $3.35 in Conestoga View, and she would have to work double shifts at times. And
that was a long time ago, though, wasn't it?
It was a long time ago, yeah, but it's the same now. I mean, it's just a different era, but the wages are still low, and it's hard for people to survive.
So your mother was homeless, not making a lot of money, working 2 jobs.
Mm-hmm.
So how did you get out of that and say, I'm going to do better, I'm going to have a career, and then you decided to run for office? What was it about that time and going through that got you to get higher schooling and to have a career?
I just worked hard. Watching my mother sacrifice herself, even to buy me a pair of shoes or my siblings, or she did everything humanly possible, even through some of the most worst relationships she could have, just so we could succeed. And her everyday lecture was, I want you to study. I want you to make sure you come home and study. I cooked. I cleaned.
How many siblings did you have?
2 at the time here. I have others that live with my dad in Puerto Rico. So not only did I have to cook and clean to help my mother, but I had to study and make sure that the other siblings studied and got to eat and go to bed on time.
So it was with your mother's encouragement?
It was my mother's.
And her support that got you to where you are, do you think?
Yep, and her Puerto Rican, New York attitude. Even though she was born in Puerto Rico, they migrated to New York in the 60s.
What was her attitude?
Can I speak bluntly?
Yeah,
go for
yes,
it.
of course.
Don't fuck with Clarita. And you don't.
And you're just like your mother.
Well,
In
she's
a sense, you have the same attitude, don't you?
not
I'm not
quite.
saying that is a bad thing.
No, I'm more conservative. My mother is somebody you don't mess with. She suffered enough that if anything would happen to me or any of our siblings, she will come at you.
Do you see yourself as diplomatic? Are you willing to compromise?
Yes.
Were you willing to compromise with the board?
I had. I mean, I didn't vote no for everything. I voted yes for many things. Many things. It was just certain things that I knew it was going to affect the community where I would vote no.
And they got very upset just because of that?
Yeah, that's what I said, that it was emotions. They had everything emotional. I did not come to city council with emotions. I came to city council to do my job.
So they had an internal reaction to you.
Yeah, because it made her look bad. That's what she kept saying. Why are you trying to make me look bad? I'm like, I'm not making you bad. You make yourself look bad.
I see. Are you going to run for office again?
Well, at this point, I'm going to do my book first.
Do you have a name for it? Do you have a title for your book?
Let me see if I have it here.
She's looking in her purse for the title of the book.
Well, because I'm still...
That's okay.
I'm between titles.
Okay.
But one that kind of stuck out was something that I wanted to say, like, behind the black curtain, but I kept switching back. Refusing to be the face of someone else's political strategy behind the blue curtain. You like
Okay.
that? So And then after that, now that I can say that I'm no longer part of the Democratic Party, I believe that after seeing the far left become too critical and attacking, and we see it on TV, I saw it on city council attacking me. And then after the death of Charlie Kirk, that did it.
What would you run as?
As a Republican.
And
if I decide to run.
What would you run for?
I don't know. I would have to talk to the Republican Party and say, what would you like me to run for?
Okay.
And by the way, they had been pushing for me to be Republican for I don't know how many years.
But the city itself is very blue, so...
Yeah, but I'm moving out of the city.
Where are you going to move to?
I don't know yet. Someplace in suburbia.
Come to township.
Will it be in Lancaster County that you'll
Lancaster,
stay in?
Yeah, Lancaster County.
Where it's redder.
Not so much it's being the redder part of it. I just don't want to live in a city where I have to hear the sirens, people shooting each other, people hearing stabbing.
I don't think anybody wants that.
No, but this is what's happening in the city. You hear it all the time.
But I think the murder rate is decreased from what I just read.
I don't know. There was a stabbing, a month ago across the street from City Hall while I was on City Council. I sent a text to my husband, hey, in, what is that coffee place? Something One. Square One. There was a stabbing right there. My car was, I always park my car there too.
By the way, you mentioned, reminds me before our interview, that you felt the Democratic Party didn't like your religion.
Oh, Sally Lyle.
Now you said
remember Sally Lyle? Yeah.
You're Protestant, correct?
I would say no, and I'm kind of hesitant of talking about my faith, only because I've been attacked.
Are you Christian?
I don't say that either.
Okay, but you have faith.
I have a faith in God that moves mountains.
Okay, and you said your husband is actually Jewish, right?
His family is Jewish.
And what family religion were you brought up in?
My father's Catholic. Which, yes, I was baptized Catholic, and then my mom is Protestant, and then I got baptized Protestant. So it's kind of like wherever I go,
I get that.
It's just I just believe in God.
Okay.
I don't have to be. I mean, I do go what I would say like a temple. You know, I do go because I believe in fellowship and talking to people and learning and listening to people in
but
needs.
The Democratic Party didn't like that. Why wouldn't they like that?
It was just interesting to hear that the chair of the county, which was Sally Lyle, had told somebody that I was too religious. And I'm like, I never have spoken about my religion. I have never spoken about anything other than God. I do believe that there is a
Do you
God.
think it was word of mouth, somebody telling you she said that? Maybe she didn't say that. Maybe
I believe her. She even said that the reason I won for the for the Senate race was because my last name was Diaz. And I'm the racist.
Before we end, and I have one more question for you. Do you want to ask her anything, Danielle?
Well, I mean, you covered most of what I was interested in. You talked a little bit about your mayoral race and the state Senate race. Well, I wanted to ask you about it was 2022 when you ran for state house. Was it a case where he was also like the chosen candidate, or can you describe anything that was interesting about that particular race? Well,
the endorsement obviously went to him, but what was this is interesting how they played this game. So they had a group of people vote. So it was the first vote was for it to be an open race. So they said, no, but we have to vote again. And I'm like, well, you already voted to be an open race. There was about a 15-minute lag before they did the second vote. Well, half of the people left. Mm-hmm. So the second round, it went to him as an endorsed candidate. Oh, so that's the games they play. No, that was just a game they play. I know it because I've seen it more than once. The House race, the reason why I ran was because somebody asked me from SACA to run the race. And I said, okay, I have money. I'll run the race. but yeah, it was the same scenario. Attacking me, making me look bad. It wasn't as harsh as the Marys. And they used, like I said, certain tactics. It's just, to me, it's a stupid game.
And you have proof.
It happened.
Everything
You
you
can
said?
see it on
Okay.
city council meetings.
Okay. I'm totally digressing. But is your husband in the medical profession as well?
My husband is he's an owner of what they call locksmith, auto locksmith. He's a technician.
Oh, okay.
He owns his own business.
Do you have children?
I could never have children.
Okay.
I just have animals.
How many animals do you have?
2.
Dogs or cats?
Dogs and a cat.
Dogs and cats. Is there a message that you want to leave the listeners with that you would like them to know about you?
I'm the real deal. I don't pick party over people. I don't discriminate because you're living in a apartment that's fallen apart or a house versus living in the street or going to Kamala Harris's mansion, which I did because I was invited to. I am a person that generally cares about how you feel and how you're doing.
Okay, well, it's been a pleasure talking to you.
Well, thank you
and
very
getting
much.
to know you. So thank you very much. And thank you to Danielle, our tech guy. And
Sí, muchas gracias.
De nada. Muchas gracias
all
a
right,
usted.
stay tuned for our next podcast.